Alright guys, what we have is our 1 gallon milk jugs. They're 6 inches wide or thick. Typically what we see is about the penetration through these jugs is about 1.5 times that of ballistics ordnance gel. So Hornady's literature states, I believe, 9 to 10 inches for the 60 grain VMAX. We will see if that equates the same in the jugs. That should be roughly 2 jugs of penetration. It may or may not enter the third, but I don't expect to see any hit on the back wall of the third, if it even enters the third. We'll see. Pretty much what I expected. We destroyed 2 jugs completely. It looks like we got some, hard to tell if we got penetration to the back of the jug or not. I know the slug is in there, or the pieces are in there, fragments, I can hear that. But it looks like we do have a little crack right here on this jug. I just noticed this. So we did get the complete, but nothing entered the jug. Okay, so we got no entry into the jug, but look, so we did get 2 full jugs of penetration. That'd be 12 inches, which that actually lines right up with Hornady's literature on the penetration of ballistics gel. So I want to add a couple more jugs here, and we're going to try that number 4 buck and see if we get more or less. I'm anticipating more, but again, I may be surprised and proven wrong. Alright guys, we're going to fire the number 4 buck. I've added some more jugs up there. We're going to do this from about 10 feet so that we get our pattern. We don't have anything skipping off to the sides. It might kind of skew our results, and we don't want to be too close so that they're not all impacting one on top of the other. But we're about, right here, we're about 10, 11 feet or so. That should be sufficient to spread out the pellets to where they're not stacked on top of each other and keep them all inside the jug. Okay, as you can see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jugs up here, and we have penetrated into the 4th jug with multiple pellets. You see she's leaking. Several pellets completely penetrated jug 3. There's quite a few pellets inside of there, so I would think that the majority of the payload is going to penetrate between 3 and 4. That would coincide pretty much with exactly what most of the literature you read about would show. That would be 18 to 24 inches. Actually, no, we didn't get any that reached the back, and we see some actually just bouncing off. So between 18 and probably about 20 inches or so of penetration in water, which would equate right around the, between 12 inch to maybe 14 inches in a ballistics ordnance gel. Okay guys, this will be the 5.45. This is the 55 grain WPA soft point. We've got 4 6-inch jugs up there. So we'll see if this, how far this makes it. Our VMAX for the 5.56 223 penetrated 2 jugs and bounced off a third. We'll see if this matches that or exceeds that. I'm actually kind of hoping it exceeds it because I really think that's a little shallow on penetration with the VMAX. And I know the 5.45 variant has performed identical to the 5.56 variant in terms of the VMAX. Our number 4 buck gave us 4 jugs of penetration. Didn't reach the back wall of the 4th, but into the 4th jug. And I know the HST round for the 9mm, I'm not going to test it here, but I can tell you there's plenty of literature on it, and it should penetrate a good 4 jugs because that puts you solidly in the 12 to 14 inch range, and that's about what I would expect out of a good duty handgun load, and I would hope to see that out of the rifle loads as well. Our goal here is to try to reduce some penetration inside of building material. The VMAX certainly did that in comparison to the handgun. Full metal jackets did not in comparison to handguns, so we're not even going to worry about those because those aren't meeting our criteria. And this 55 grain soft point seemed like it performed similar to the VMAX, so we'll see if we get similar results in this, or if we get a little deeper penetration in the fluid material, since it performed reasonably well in the wall test, which if you haven't watched that video, please go back and do so, and you can get a better understanding of what all we're doing here. Okay, so I can already see 2 jugs have been obliterated. And it looks like we have penetration into and it stopped in the third jug, and it's actually in the back of the third jug, so it looks like, yeah, it made it to the back. I don't know that it bulged the back, can't really tell, but it did completely penetrate to make it well into the third, and that is greater penetration of the VMAX. It also looks like it held together better, so I'm actually pretty pleased with this this round so far. This is looking like a sleeper, so to say. It's not very expensive. It doesn't have the low flash propellant that the VMAX has, and the feed profile of it's a little funky, and you may need to test that in your weapons if you decide to use this. I haven't had any issue with it, but it is something to be aware of. But I'm going to go ahead and get that round out of there. I'll start the camera back up. I'm going to go ahead and get that round out of there before this camera overheats, and we'll take a look at it.